Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please give this video a thumbs up. Click the bell icon at the top of the page to get notified when I post a new video. Universal Channeling. Channeling the Conscious Universe. Blossom Goodchild, Channeling the Federation of Light, July 13, 2021. Blossom Goodchild. Well, here we are once again. Life, with its topsy-turvy twists and turns, continues to flow, and we must trust that although it doesn't look like it, it is all going in the right direction. Federation of Light. Welcome Blossom, welcome to each soul who, like us, look forward to these conversations and the comfort and sometimes, confusion, they bring. Blossom Goodchild. Why do you say confusion? Federation of Light. Because we are aware that at times, there is confusion of mind as to what is and what is not. For although some feel we talk in riddles, we do not. We simply express in a fashion that allows each soul to interpret for themselves that which we are offering. Some are able to look deeper into our presentation than others, whilst some receive the love and trust on a, would we say, more simpler frequency. We are aware you would like to talk about the monoliths? Blossom Goodchild. Yes, please. If it suits. For quite a few are inquiring as to an update on them. Federation of Light. All are now in place. Yet, none are to be activated, at this time. They shall remain dormant until the signal is given, at which point they shall come alive and do their thing. Blossom Goodchild. Which is Federation of Light. They will send tones and signals to one another across your globe and out to other sources like themselves, that are not on your planet. The connections between them, each one, shall we say, would be in comparison to a conversation. As you can imagine, this is a complex matter that cannot be completely understood on the human brain's capacity level at this time. Extremely advanced scientists will not be able to keep up with the signals and communications between them, for their codings are not from this world. Blossom Goodchild. And what is their purpose? Federation of Light. To activate many ley lines, portals, vast dormant crystals that lie beneath your soil. To activate within the human mind, codes that were set/given long before your presence on Earth. Blossom Goodchild. Whoa. So, one step at a time. Ley lines? Federation of Light. We understand that you, personally Blossom, are not au fait with such phenomena. Yet, you and many know that they exist. They are a matrix that runs throughout your Earth's patterns. We would describe them like a rabbit warren. For although there is structure to these patterns, there are also many threads, billions, that are connected throughout, yet, all receiving the same messages and codes from source. Blossom Goodchild. So, are you saying that the activation of ley lines will come from the monolith signals, that originally come from source? Federation of Light. Yes, indeed. For everything does. Blossom Goodchild. What is the purpose of the ley lines activation? Federation of Light. They will magnetically charge the very ground that you walk upon. Imagine a matrix that runs throughout your globe, as if when activated, the main centers, such as the places you know as Uluru, Stonehenge, and 5 others, will be the starter points for this charge to then spread throughout the intricate and complex threads, so that there is not one piece of land that is not encompassed by it. Blossom Goodchild. What happens then? Federation of Light. It is part of the show. It is necessary for this magnetism to be underway in order for the rest of the process to take place and be completed. Blossom Goodchild. And that process is? Federation of Light. We will move on to the portals and crystals, for it is part of the connection of all these things mentioned. Imagine the enormity of this charge, throughout your globe. Not just a small place in one country, yet everywhere. Think of all these threads lighting up and spreading throughout. Think of the power created, unimagined, unimaginable. This then, firstly powers up the giant crystals that, as we say, have lain dormant for millennia. Blossom Goodchild. Who placed them there? Federation of Light. Off-planet beings. In the knowing of the future, which is now the present. In the knowing of this major event that is to occur. Blossom Goodchild. What do the crystals do? Federation of Light. Once they have been awoken/activated through the magnetic forces, they will literally glow with life. Blossom Goodchild. It's all very much like a movie that I have not yet seen. Federation of Light. Yet, images presented by artists, etc. in preparation. Visions they have been given. The energy that is contained within these crystals is also beyond compare. Blossom Goodchild. How many crystals are there? Federation of Light. 6. Blossom Goodchild. Is that all? Federation of Light. Blossom, no more are necessary. Blossom Goodchild. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I am almost dribbling with excitement. What happens next? Federation of Light. The power from the crystals, aligned with the ley lines and threads, then take a while to tune into the system, and when complete, they are able to activate 7 portals. Blossom Goodchild. That do what? Federation of Light. Open up your planet, for a given time, to other worlds. Blossom Goodchild. Dear God, I am on the edge of my seat. Then what? Federation of Light. Magic, dearest Blossom. Magic. Blossom Goodchild. Hold on. Can we just recap? So, if I have this correctly, at a certain given point in time, these monoliths will be activated and will send signals to each other on and off planet, which in turn, will set off ley line grids and threads from 7 main centers, which will be charged magnetically because of the signals from the monoliths, which in turn, when completed throughout the planet, will activate 6 vast gigantic crystals that have laid dormant for millennia, and when all this is in alignment, the power of this will allow 7 portals to activate and open. How am I doing? Federation of Light. Extremely well. Blossom Goodchild. You say these portals open us up to 7 other worlds? Do we go to them? Federation of Light. No. Blossom Goodchild. Do otherworldly beings come through to us? Federation of Light. No. Not at this time. Yet, it is the combined energy of these openings that are needed to conduct the next move. Blossom Goodchild. Holy moly. Which is? Federation of Light. Blossom, have a think about all we have said. What do you think would be happening next, when you consider the absolute magnitude of power from all this we have said, put together, to create what? Blossom Goodchild. The event? Federation of Light. Correct. Blossom Goodchild. Far out, Brussels sprout. And I thought it was going to perhaps be from a simple solar flare. Keeping on track, you said also, about codes being activated in the human mind that were given long ago. Can you elaborate on that, if my head doesn't blow off first? Federation of Light. Clearly, we are assuming that one can feel the enormity of this when it takes place. It has to be that the human mind, connected to the soul, plays its part in all of this, for that is why you are here. It is absolutely necessary for each one to step up to the plate and be part of the whole event. Therefore, within everything else being activated, it triggers within the soul self the remembrance of this taking place. In that, you remember all that you were told that you were coming to the planet to accomplish. We have spoken of envelopes being opened and you knowing what to do. This is that of which we have spoken. Blossom Goodchild. This is much bigger than you have spoken of before. Federation of Light. Because of divine timing. Perhaps if we had done so before, many would not have been ready to accept. Blossom Goodchild. I don't know if I am. I mean, I am. It makes sense and I have never had a notion of this at all before, yet, you have to admit, it is rather mind-blowing. Federation of Light. Nothing like this has occurred before. Blossom Goodchild. I'm not surprised. So, deep breath, then what? Federation of Light. Everything changes. Everything. We feel this is a good point to pause on this matter in order for information to be absorbed. Indeed, there shall be many questions. Yet, we suggest you allow this conversation to settle within the heart. Push questions aside and be with this. Go within and feel into that which we have offered. For we know that when you do so, you will know of its truth. Blossom Goodchild. Well, that's the most exciting news. I, for one, need to process it. For, in all honesty, I know I couldn't make this up out of nowhere, and yet, on the other hand, it seems so sci-fi, and yet, such a wonderful change of knowledge from all that is taking place on our planet right now. Something to give us hope. Federation of Light. This is why you came, remember? To move your planet and those within and upon her, into a higher dimension. Blossom Goodchild. Yes, and either you, or White Cloud said it would be when we felt we could take no more. Tomorrow then? Federation of Light. Dearest Blossom, just know that this shall be the way that it is to be. As for the when? Let go of that. For all you need to know is that it shall take place. Blossom Goodchild. Wow. I was a little apprehensive to talk about monoliths, to be honest. So glad I did. Thank you so much. I think it will give so many of us renewed strength and encourage us to keep on keeping on. How blessed we are. In gratitude. In loving service. I am. Website, blossomgoodchild.com